It's my nephew Virgil, one is little Buddy Drake, and the other's Beth Ryan.
Do they know the terms of your will?
Yes, I told them when I had it drawn up.
Well, that gives us three possible suspects.
Oh, now that's crazy, Sergeant. I don't know about Virgil, but not Beth Ryan. And you sure can't suspect a young'un like Buddy.
What about his father?
Evan Drake?
I've heard his claim hasn't panned out and he needs money. What's more, he used to be an actor. With a false mustache and a patch over one eye, it wouldn't be hard to impersonate Louie's ghost. He's probably seen that photograph there on the table.
Holy mackerel. But what about Beth? You're not thinking she could have dressed up like Louie?
I find it hard to suspect Beth, but remember she has a brother. They might have planned the thing between them.
Oh, good. I just can't believe it.
Gideon, in your condition, I don't like to leave you alone, but there's a chance King and I can track down this ghost. If not, I'd like to check on Evan Drake.
You go to it, Sergeant. Don't worry about me.
Do you have a gun?
Sure, in that table drawer there.
I'll get it for you. Here you are.
But what's the idea?
If someone's plotting against your life, I don't want to leave you unprotected. I doubt if you'll have to use this gun, but keep it handy. All right, King, let's go, boy.
After leaving Gideon's cabin, Sergeant Preston drove back up the hillside to the spot where he had found the old man. But by now, the rapidly falling snow had wiped out the last trace of footprints, and the howling winds had completely dispersed the scent trail of the man who had impersonated the ghost. Finally, the sergeant gave up the search and headed his team toward Evan Drake's cabin. When he arrived at the cabin a short time later, he saw a light in the window.
Well, King.
Sergeant Preston. Come on in.
Thanks. You're up late, Evan.
I couldn't sleep.
Where's Buddy?
In the back room. He's asleep.
Has he been sleeping long?
3 or 4 hours? Why?
You been here at the cabin all evening?
Why, sure.
Where's your parka?
Hanging up back there in the corner.
If you haven't left the cabin, how does it happen your parka's wet?
Well, I went out back to feed the dogs.
This time of night? Sorry, Evan, that won't do. From the condition of this parka, you must have been outdoors in the blizzard for quite a while.
Hey, for Pete's sake, why all the questions? What's this all about?
Evan, I'll give you one more chance to tell me the truth. Where did you go this evening?
I can't tell you. It's none of your business.
I warn you, you're under suspicion of attempted murder.
Murder?
That's right. Tonight someone tried to kill Gideon Fowler by posing as the ghost of his dead partner. Since you can't account for your whereabouts, and since you'd profit by his death, I'll have to arrest you.
Oh, no, wait a minute, Sergeant. I had no idea. I'll tell you where I was.
Go ahead.
Well, I need money badly. This afternoon I get feeling desperate, so I decided to hold up the nearest roadhouse. Tonight, after Buddy went to sleep, I started out. But after I got there, I just couldn't go through with it, so I turned around and came home.
You think a jury would accept that story?
But it's the truth.
Well, Evan, I'm inclined to believe you, but I can't take any chances. For the time being, I'll have to take you into custody.
All right. It's my own fault. What about Buddy?
We can't leave him here alone. He'll have to come with us.
All right, Sergeant. I'll wake the boy.
Before leaving, Sergeant Preston made a thorough search of the cabin, but found no trace of the ghost's disguise. And then he ordered Evan to hitch his team, and the group started out. Instead of heading straight for Dawson City, the sergeant first returned to Gideon Fowler's cabin to make sure the old man was all right. Gideon was taken back when he saw Buddy's tearful face and heard the sergeant's story.
Drat it, Sergeant. I don't know what to make of it.
Dad wouldn't do anything wrong, Sergeant Preston. I know he wouldn't. Won't you please believe me?
Steady, son.
I'm sorry, Buddy. If your father's innocent, he has nothing to fear. Evan, I'm going to ask you and Buddy to wait outside for the next few minutes. I have something to discuss with Gideon.
All right. Come along, son.
Go with him, King. Guard, boy.
Don't worry, Sergeant. I'll not run away.
I'm sure you won't, Evan, with King watching you.
Well, now that they've gone, Sergeant, what is it you wanted to talk to me about?
Gideon, I have a plan that may clear up this whole thing, but I'll need your help.
I'll do anything I can. What do you have in mind?
Now, here's my idea. suppose I would...
Gideon listened earnestly while Sergeant Preston explained his plan. When the Mountie was through speaking, the old man exclaimed,
Doggone it, Sergeant, I'm all for it. I reckon that ought to prove things one way or the other.
How soon do you think your nephew will come back from town?
He should have been back long ago. Must be making the rounds of all the cafes.
I'll wait for him, Gideon.
A short time later, Virgil Fowler entered the cabin.
Well, hello. Looks like this is your night for visitors, Uncle Gid. Drake and his little boy outside and Sergeant Preston inside. Oh, what the dickens is going on?
There's been plenty going on. What kept you so late?
I stuck around town hoping the blizzard would die down, but it didn't, so I came back anyway.
Your uncle nearly lost his life tonight.
What's that?
The ghost of Louie Lachine made another appearance.
That ghost again. Are you sure you're not just seeing things, Uncle Gid?
He wasn't just seeing things. Gideon's been the victim of a definite plot. The so-called ghost lured him outdoors and left him to die of exposure.
Yes, and I reckon I would have died, too, if the sergeant hadn't found me.
Great Scott, have you any idea who's back of the scheme?
Sergeant Preston thinks it may be Evan Drake.
Drake?
He can't account for his whereabouts tonight, and he stands to profit through Buddy by your uncle's death.
Well, I'll be hanged. I never thought of that.
Virgil, your uncle's a mighty sick man.
Oh, I don't wonder.
As soon as I get back to town, I'm going to send someone out here to nurse him.
You think that's necessary?
Yes, I do. If it weren't for this blizzard, I'd take him to the hospital tonight. And there's one other precaution I think we'd better take.
What's that, Sergeant?
First thing tomorrow, I suggest you send for your lawyer and change your will. Add a clause specifying that payment be withheld if there's any reason to believe your death is caused by some unusual shock.
What's the reason for that, Sergeant?
It may not be possible to prove a case against Drake, but we can remove any temptation for a repeat performance by the ghost.
I'll do as you say, Sergeant.
All right, Gideon. I'll be on my way with Evan and Buddy. In the meantime, Virgil, take good care of your uncle.
Yes, I'll certainly do that, Sergeant.
For some time after Sergeant Preston and the others had gone, Virgil Fowler sat brooding by the fireplace. He seemed to be turning something over in his mind. Finally, his uncle remarked,
Why, Sunday, don't you put out the lamp and turn in?
You're forgetting something, Uncle Gid. Sergeant Preston said he was going to send someone out from town to look after you.
Well, what of it? I reckon that don't mean you have to sit up all hours of the night waiting.
Yes, I think maybe you're right, Uncle Gid. I'd better not wait any longer.
Eh? What do you mean?
Just what I said.
Virgil got up from his chair. There was a strange glint in his eye as he approached his uncle's bunk.
Say, what in the dickens is wrong with you? What are you looking at me that way for?
Fact is, I'm going to have to kill you.
Kill me? What are you talking about?
Sergeant Preston hasn't left me any choice. After tonight, there'll be someone with you all the time, and on top of that, you'll be changing your will tomorrow. So if I want to collect that inheritance, I'd better settle things right now.
For the love of heaven, Verge, have you gone crazy?
Crazy? Why, no, Uncle Gid, far from it. You see, I'm the one who impersonated Louie Lachine's ghost.
You?
That's right. Come. Come with me, Gideon.
Jumping Jupiter. And it was you all along.
Sure. With that weak heart of yours and your bad conscience over Louie Lachine, I didn't think it would take much spooking to hurry things along. But you're a tough old buzzard, Uncle Gid. A lot tougher than I figured. So I'll have to take stronger measures.
What are you aiming to do?
Hold a pillow over your head. You'll struggle a bit, but after a while you'll drift off, and that'll be the end of it.
No, you'll never get away with it, Verge.
I think I shall. After all, you've been through a bad time tonight. Your heart just couldn't stand the strain. And as for that ghost business, I imagine Preston will pin that on Drake.
No, don't do it, Verge.
Sorry, but I have to...
Get your hands up, Fowler.
Preston!
Turn around. Move away from your uncle.
All right. You've got me, Preston.
As Virgil turned, his eye fell on his uncle's revolver lying on the floor beside the bunk. The table was standing close by, within easy reach. Virgil's mind worked fast. Suddenly, he kicked over the table and dropped to the floor. The sergeant had ducked aside from his exposed position in the doorway, just in time to avoid Virgil's bullets. But King, who was already inside the room, moved in a different direction.
Throw down your gun, Preston, or I'll kill the old man.
Take him, take!
What? No! Get
Virgil's gun went off, but the bullet plowed harmlessly into the wall as King's attack pinned him to the floor. The great dog gripped his gun arm.
Now, get him away from me.
All right, King. I have his gun. On guard, boy. You all right, Gideon?
Yes, sure, I'm all right. Dad ratted I wasn't much help to you. But I saw King closing in, and I figured he could handle things better than I could.
You did the right thing by staying out of it. I never would have gone through with my plan if I'd known there'd be this much excitement.
Don't worry about me. The main thing is your plan worked.
What?
You trapped this polecat nephew of mine.
You mean this whole setup was just part of a scheme?
That's right. I had an idea you'd convict yourself if you thought this was your last chance to do away with your uncle.
May Buddy and I come in now, Sergeant?
Come ahead, Evan. I'll handcuff Virgil, and then we'll take him back to town.
Evan and Buddy stayed at Gideon's cabin until the sergeant could send someone from town to take care of the old man. Dawn was breaking, and Buddy was dozing on his father's lap when they heard a dog team stop outside the cabin. A moment later, the door opened.
Beth.
Hello, Evan. Hello, Mr. Farmer.
So this is the person you brought back to nurse me, Sergeant.
Think she'll do?
You're doggone right she will. Take off your pocket, Beth.
I suppose the sergeant's told you all about what happened last night.
Beth understands, and so do I. She told me about your conversation. Just don't get any more ideas about breaking the law.
I'll see to that personally, Sergeant.
Well, does that mean what I think it means?
We'll discuss that later.
You hear that, Sergeant? Dad ratted. Look at the two of them. See, Buddy, you come on over here to me, eh?
Yes, sir.
How would you like to have me for your grandpa? Your real grandpa?
My real grandpa? Oh, golly, I'd like that fine.
Well, in that case, I reckon maybe you and your pa better move in here with me. I'm getting too old to work my claim, so I'll let him take over for me.
Do you mean that?
Well, of course I mean it.
Golly, Oh, but wait. I'm afraid we'll not be able to accept your offer.
Eh?
At least not for a while yet.
Why not?
First, there's a little matter of a honeymoon for Beth and me.
A honeymoon. Why, Sunday, you're right. I was forgetting all about that.
Oh, gosh, Dad. Does that mean that you and...
It means, Buddy, that from now on you'll not only have a new grandpa, you'll also have a new mother.
Oh, gee whiz, that's wonderful. Then from now on, we'll all be together.
Yes, that's right, son. All four of us.
And there's a man we have to thank for it. Sergeant Preston.
Forget the thanks, Gideon. As far as King and I are concerned, this case is closed.
In our next adventure, in the cabin of a murdered sourdough, Sergeant Preston stands facing two killers, one of whom holds a gun at the back of Preston's friend, the constable.
All right, Sergeant, I got a gun at the constable's back.
You won't get away with this.
No? Drop your gun, Sergeant. Or I'll plug the constable. Drop it!
Very well.
Now, put bullets in both you Mounties before we head for the border.
Forced to drop his gun to save the life of his friend, Sergeant Preston finds that they're both to be victims of the two killers. Be sure to hear this next exciting adventure. These radio dramas, a feature of the Challenge of the Yukon Incorporated, are created by George W. Trendle, produced by Trendle Campbell Enterprises, directed by Fred Flowerday, and supervised by Charles D. Livingston. The part of Sergeant Preston is played by Paul Sutton. The Challenge of the Yukon is brought to you every Saturday and Sunday. This is J. Michael wishing you goodbye and good luck until our next adventure. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.